Yes, our singer is not here. So anyway. So we'll start with our prayers. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hare Om. Sahana Vavatu Sahanu Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amritam gamaya aviravirmayedhi. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. Parthaya pratibodhitam bhagavata narayanina swayam vyasena grathitam purana munina madhye mahabharatam advaitamritavarshinim bhagavatim ashtadashadhyayinim amba tvam anusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshini. Let me be protected, let me be nourished, let me strive with energy and vigor. Let our study be enlightening and not give rise to hostility. Om peace, peace, peace. Lead us to truth and not to untruth. Lead us to enlightenment, not ignorance. Lead us to immortality and not to death. Let the self-manifest Atman grow in me. Om peace, peace, peace. Om, O Bhagavad Gita, with which Partha was enlightened by the Lord Narayana himself, and which was incorporated in the Mahabharata by the ancient sage Vyasa. The Blessed Mother, the destroyer of rebirth, showering down the nectar of Advaita, and consisting of 18 chapters. Upon thee, O Bhagavad Gita, O loving Mother, I meditate. So we have completed up to 9th chapter, and we have already started 10th chapter. So 10th chapter is also very significant. Why it is significant? Because it explains Vibhuti. Vibhuti means the glory of God. Right from 7th chapter, Bhagavan Sri Krishna is speaking about his Swarupa, the real nature of God. Because we need to know where God resides. Say you have come here because you knew the address of Vedanta Society, 1157 Southeast 55th Avenue, Portland, Oregon, USA. So you have come here. So where should we find God? So we need to know the address. Otherwise, we'll miss. And we miss all the time. And many teachers and even God has said so many times, but we miss all the time. So we need to know where is the residence of God, where God resides. So the problem is he will tell, but again will miss. So that's why Sri Bhagavan starts with it. Bhuya eva. Bhuya again I am telling you. Mahavaho. Mahavaho means, oh, great mighty one. Bahu means arm, the great arm. So Arjuna was great arm, but still you have strength, but you need to cultivate spiritual strength, intellectual strength, and pure knowledge. Then only you can understand. So Bhagavan is repeating again, Bhuya eva Mahabahu. Oh, great, mighty, armed. I am again telling. So Srinu me, listen to me, listen to me. Hello, listen. So he is attracting his attention. Listen to me, Srinu me. Paramam Vacha, my supreme words. How it is supreme words? Because he has said so many times, but again he says supreme Vacha. Supreme here, it denotes that this is great one, great statement. So it's not to be missed. So we say also, please mind it. I'm going to tell you some secret. Then we are attentive. So he he tries to draw the attention of Arjuna. So Srinume means with attention. Please listen to this. So why? Because I'm going to tell you the glory of God, glory of me. We need to know what is the glory. You know, like Sri Ramakrishna said, it's very simple. His teachings are very simple. He said, if a Babu means aristocrat, he has no garden, no property. So what kind of Babu he is? The aristocrat is he. So let me quote what he said. All these are the manifestations of his power. If an aristocrat has neither house nor property, or if he has been forced to sell them, one does not call him an aristocrat by any mode or love. God is endowed with the 6 supernatural powers. If he were not, who would obey him? If he had no power, then who would obey? Everybody would follow their whims and nobody will. But before that, he said, you know what is the nature of Vijnani? Vijnani means who has known God very closely. Like we know milk, that is knowledge. What is milk? Now it is white and it's the liquid and it's nourishing, all kinds of qualities and attributes that we know about milk. But if a person has drank it, digested it, assimilated it, and grown stronger, so that is Vijnani. So Vijnani further sees that what is Brahman is the Bhagwan. So there is no difference. There are three names are given: Brahma, Bhagwan, and Atma or Paramatma. So these are not different. The names are different. Shabdyate. Brahma, Atma, Bhagwan, iti Shabdyate. These are only words. The Vijnani further sees that what is Brahman is the Bhagavan, the personal God. He who is beyond the three gunas is Bhagavan. With his six supernatural power. So what are the supernatural power? Like opulence, great opulence. He's like there's no end of his opulence. Full strength, full fame, wealth, knowledge, beauty, and also renunciation, jnana, bala, etc., and vairagya. So all the supreme qualities are his. So love, renunciation, knowledge, all these are the manifestations of his power. So why it is? Because these are the, wherever we find these qualities, we must know that God resides there. So it is easier to understand. So that's why we need to know where he is. So Bhagavan says, Bhuya eva. Again, I am saying this. Why I am saying this? You have strength, but you need to cultivate this. So here again and again. It is not one time that we hear and we understand. You know, we know the meaning of the word, but the significance, the inner, the inner inference, inner meaning is difficult to even assess. So, bhuya eva mahabaho shrinume paramam vacha. And why I am saying this? For your hitakamya, your, because this will give you your well-being. This will lead you to the highest goal. That is why it is not for me, because I have nothing to attain in this world. Name parthasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchan. I have no work. Nana praptam abaptavyam. I have nothing to attain here. So it is only for your welfare. Yatteham priyamanai. Very important. Priyamanai. Why? Because you are very dear. Because you have Shraddha. And Bhagavan says, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam tatparah sangyatin. It's not everybody that one attains this. Only those who have Shraddha, one-pointed devotion, and not only Shraddha, tatparah and sanyatindriya. He does not dissipate his energies, and who is to this, who wants to attain this. So you have these qualities. And actually, discipleship is very difficult. It is said in Bengali, Guru mile lakhe lakh, shishyo na mile ek. So gurus are many. You can get so many gurus. But it is difficult to get disciple. And gurus are also lucky, to get such a disciple. Like Arjuna, like Nachiketa. Yama told to Nachiketa, he said, Tadring bhuyat Nachiketa prashta. We should have such people who are really interested in knowing the truth. So, yatteham priyamanaya, because you are very dear to me, and I am telling you this with your welfare, for your welfare. So this is what we have already done. This is Bhagavan Vach. Now here God is taking initiative. No question from the student, that God is speaking from his own compassion, because he's all compassion. He wants the welfare of his disciple. And though he is telling, but he has no pride of it. Like God has this, that he has, Sri Ramakrishna would say, sometimes he would say me also. But ekhane, many times he would say ekhane means here, not me. Because when there is pride, there is competition. So he has no competitor. And glory is, we can see. So we'll go ahead and we'll see. Now, let us see this, even glory. In 7th chapter, Bhagavan said, Apareya mitastanyam prakritim vidhi me param. These are my apara prakriti. And jiva bhuta mahabaho yenam dharyati jagat. So what holds this is my para prakriti. So this is, even this world is so beautiful. Sun, moon, stars, and the sizes are exact. Like when eclipse happens, it just fits in. Though sun is far away, it requires 8 minutes to reach the light here, and about 1.3 million bigger than Earth. And the moon, it's closer, but it's exactly of the same size as it were. And everything, it looks like chaos, but it is so symphonic. Everything is so wonderful. Why? It is because it is glory of God. So that is why we need to cultivate the glory. This is the glory of God. See, light, the air, water. So wonderful. Even the body will not last without water. Even sun is giving energy. How much energy it is giving. And also, in absence of sun, then we have restful time. So what I'm saying, even when we see this nature, though it is lower prakriti, apara prakriti, but it is God's prakriti. All this should remind God. And when Sri Ramakrishna met that Brahmo leader, so he asked to give a lecture. So, oh God, you have made such a beautiful world, and sun and moon and this glory, etc. Then Sri Ramakrishna was waiting, but he could not find any other thing. He said, you started with glory and you ended with glory. Where is God there? So we should not be caught up in this glory also. Yeah, it is beautiful, no doubt. But we need to find the truth behind. Who am I? Where have I come from? What is this? What is the relationship with this to me? Kastvam, who are you? Koham, who am I? So all these are to be inculcated. Then only we should not be caught up in the creation. Then we cannot go ahead. It is like jamming or like stucking your tire on a road. Somewhere. Then you cannot drive anymore. So we must go. We must see first, identify, but we also must go beyond. Though it is the same truth manifesting in different way. God himself has said this, apara prakriti. So we need to go to para prakriti. Now, Bhagavan says, Name viduh suragana prabhavam namaharshaya. So, gods even do not know me. Name viduh suragana. Prabhavam na Maharshaya. So even what they do not know, Prabhama, what is me? What is the origin of this, even the glory? Na Maharshaya, even the great rishis also do not know this. Then who knows? Now why they do not know? Because I am the beginning. Aham Adihi. Adirhi Devanam. I am the beginning. I am the cause of all the devas and Maharshi, etc. Devanam. Aham Adirhi Devanam Maharshinam cha Sarvashah. He says, neither the hosts of devas nor the great rishis know my origin. For in every way, I am the source of all the devas and the great rishis. So, why they do not know? Because they are not, because I am prior to them. How can they know my origin? They cannot know. Like in Kena Upanishad, this is explained in a figurative way, that devas conquered asuras, demons, or those who are of demonic nature. And they were thinking that it's because of their glory that they have won. They have vanquished them. But then a yaksha appeared, and they did not know who that yaksha was. So they sent one by one. But their mother, Uma Haimavati, was present. So he said, who is this? So before that, when they approached that yaksha, they asked, what can you do? So fire said, I can burn anything and everything. Then he put a blade of grass. He said, okay, burn this. But he could not do. Similarly, when air went there, Vayu Devata, the principle of air, he said, I can blow anything and everything. He said, okay, blow this one. He could not do. And when Indra went there, then Uma Himavati appeared. And when she asked, when he asked, Indra asked, who is this? So then that yaksha disappeared. And that way, the pride of devas were removed. So this way, that you are nobody. It is because of him that all the glories that you feel that it is because of you. It is not true. It is because of him everything is happening. Tasya bhasa sarvam idam vibhati. Everything shines because of him. So that is why Name Viduh Suragana. All the deities, host of deities, they do not know me. Do not know the origin of me. And na Maharshaya. Now all the rishis, great rishis. Aham Adirhi Devanam Maharshinam cha Sarvasha. Because I am the source, I am the beginning of all devas and also Maharshis. Rishis means seers. And secondly, who can know God? Knowledge is only secondary. First say I am. Then I know. So knowledge is only the secondary. First the existence. And knowledge of what? Well, whatever we know knowledge of objects. But I'm not object. How can one know me? You are also not object. You are the eternal subject. That is why whatever you tell about yourself, it is all your appearing adjuncts. So we go to the next. It says, Yo mam ajam anadim cha. vetti loka maheshwaram asammudha samarteshu sarva papaihi pramuchyate. Yo mam ajam. Ajam means I am unborn. And anadim. Anadim means I have no beginning. If something has beginning, it must end. The class has started in point of time and it will end at a point of time. So whatever has a beginning, that must end. But God is eternal. There is no beginning, no end. Yo mam ajam anadim cha vetti, knows. So that means there is a kind of knowledge. You know that you have no beginning. When you started, say like we say, today is somebody's birthday. By the way, let me tell you one thing more. Yesterday it was Akshaya Tritiya. Today also there's a continuation of that. And on this day, it's a very significant day. On this day, it is said, Akshaya, whatever you do, that never diminishes, never lessens. And on this day, 100 years back, the temple at Jairambati was inaugurated. And that day it is Swami Shardananji Maharaj said, this is my last work. After that, I'll retire. But he did not. Anyway. So this is, and also today is yesterday, the beginning of Mumbai Ashrama. Why this is so important? It is said the Treta Yuga started on this day. And it has a great, says, planetary position where it is 3.5, position is so auspicious. And on this day, Naranarayana was manifested. And that is why on this day, they opened the door of Badrinath. You know, it's a shrine of we have four great places of pilgrimage, Char Dham. So this day also that door is opened. And this is also considered as the birthday of Parshuram. Parshuram was an incarnation. Matsya, Kurma, Barahasya, Nirsimha, Vamanas, Rama, Ramascha. So after Rama, Parshuram was born. And then Krishnascha, Buddhascha, Kalkirittavi. So it is also birthday of Parshuram. And some people also consider, it is mythological, that on this day, Lakshmi appeared. Lakshmi, when the churning of the ocean was happening, then Lakshmi appeared. So this is also another reason why. And Mahabharata, the Vyasa started writing Mahabharata because this is auspicious day. So all the auspicious works are done. Anyway, this is Akshaya Tritiya, it is called, third day of this month. So anyway, let us go back to our text. Yom am ajam anadim cha. So I have no beginning. Though all these things have beginning and they will end. But Yom am ajam anadim cha vetti loka maheshwaram asammudha. Asammudha means whose intelligence is not deluded. That means mature. When we are children, so what do? We have various ideas. Later we find, that's all those ideas were queer ideas. But gradually we settle down by our education, by our grace, by the grace of gurus, and also by the grace of God. We settle down. So those who are not deluded, asammudha, samarteshu sarva papaihi pramuchyate. So those who know my nature, that I am unborn and I am beginningless and I am the God of all, Loka Maheshwaram. Samarteshu, though they are on this earth, but they are released of all bad karma. Papa. Papa means sin, not from Christian standpoint. So asammudha means who is mature enough, who understands, whose wisdom is settled. And that who is unborn, on him something comes, settles for a little time, and then disappears. Srishti, Sthiti, and Laya. So you are there, dreams come, dreams stay for a certain time, and dreams disappear. But you are eternal. Similar. So Srishti, Sthiti, Laya, Karana. And Yatova Imani Bhutani Jayante, where all these bhutas come to existence, Yena Jatani Jivanti, and where it exists for the time being, and Yena Prayantavi Samrishanti. So this is the definition of God. So God is here. We have to see through. Whatever comes, stays for a time being, and then disappears. That is not. That is the glory. We can say that's glory. But we are trying to find out God within. So this is who is the cause of creation, preservation, and destruction or absorption. He is God. So yo mam ajam anadim cha vetti loka maheshwaram asammudha, because he is no more deluded. Samarteshu, though he is in this among mortals, but all his sins or bad karmas are removed because of this knowledge. Now we'll go to the next shloka. Now here comes, Bhagavan on 15th shloka of 9th chapter. Bhagavan said that ekatvena prithakatvena bahudha vishwato mukham. Let me go back. So some people, they worship God jnana yajnana chapyanni yajanto mam upasate. Others too, sacrificing by the yajna of knowledge, that is seeing the self in all, worship me, the all formed, as one, as distinct as manifold. So he is one, ekatvena, prithakatvena, and he also many. Tat srishtva tadevanu pravishat. Because there is no other than God. So even we see manifold, it is God and God alone. But only thing, what's the secret? We should not concentrate on manifoldness. Otherwise, this will go on. This dream will go on. We have to find that unity in manifoldness. Then we can see, oh, that unity is present in manifoldness. So I'll read from the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, so that now it is coming. God will tell where you find me, where I am residing. The Jnani reasons about the world through the process of niti. Niti means I am not this body, I am not this mind, I am not the intellect, and not this whole host of things that those are objects. Niti. And at last reaches the eternal and indivisible Satchidanand. He reasons in this manner. Brahman is not the living beings. It is neither the universe, nor the 24 cosmic principles. What are 24 cosmic principles? 5 uh, like Kshiti, Aptej, Marut, Vyom, 5 essential elements, 5 elements, 5 sense organs, 5 organs of action, and 5 pranas. So this makes 20, 4, 5, 5, 5, 5, and Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankar. So that's 24 cosmic principles. These are called Vikruti. Prakriti, Vikruti. So Prakriti distinguishes itself as these 24 principles. As a result of such reasoning, he attains the absolute. Then he realizes that it is the absolute that has become all this, the universe, its living beings, and the 24 cosmic principles. Because Bhagavan said it is apara prakriti, apareyamitasthanyam prakritim vidhi me para. So he realizes now, he says, milk sets into curd, and the curd is churned into butter. After extracting the butter, one realizes that butter is not essentially different from buttermilk, and buttermilk not essentially different from butter. The bark of a tree goes with the pith, and the pith goes with the bark. Like in Bengal, there is banana tree. You can see outside it is like barks, so you remove. You go to the inner pith. After going there, oh, it is the same thing as I saw in the bark. So not essentially different. So this, the realization comes. Now he goes further. You see, in one form, he is the absolute, and in another, he is the relative. What does Vedanta teach? Brahman alone is real, and the world illusory. Is not that so? But as long as God keeps the ego of a devotee in a man, the relative is also real. See, mark the word. As long as you have ego, as long as I see I have a body, I see you. I see this whole world. But what happens when there is no ego? Let me read it again, because this is very, very important. You see, in one form, he is the absolute, and in another, he is the relative. Apareyamita. Apare, para. He is absolute also, and para prakriti and apara prakriti. He is the relative. In one form, he is absolute, in another form, he is relative. What does Vedanta teach? Brahman alone is real, and the world illusory. Is not that so? But as long as God keeps the ego of a devotee in a man, the relative is also real. When he completely effaces the ego, then what is remains? What is remains? Now, mind this. When God completely effaces the ego, then what is remains? Somebody came to Dakshineshwar and asked, sir, when you go to Samadhi, do you experience little trace of ego? He said, yes, I experience little ego. It is for the enjoyment. But that also is removed by the grace of God sometimes. Then I totally merge in it. So that cannot, when he completely effaces the ego, then what is remains. That cannot be described by the tongue. But as long as God keeps the ego, one must accept all. When you're driving, you cannot say, that the oncoming car is also Brahman, I am also Brahman. So you'll merge in Brahman. So you have to say, when you are playing a game, you have to obey the rules of the game. But when you're an spectator, you may not follow a party or other party. You can enjoy both the parties. So that cannot be described by the tongue. But as long as God keeps the ego, one must accept all. By removing the outer sheaths of the plantain tree, you reach the inner pith. As long as the tree contains sheaths, it also contains pith. So, too, as long as it contains pith, it also contains sheaths. So, when pith is there, then sheath is also there. But what happens when both are absent? The pith goes with the sheaths, and the sheaths go with the pith. In the same way, when you speak of the Nitya, it is understood that the Leela also exists. And when you speak of the Leela, it is understood that the Nitya also exists. But when both are unified, what happens? That cannot be spoken. Sri Ramakrishna went to Vidyasagar. So he said one thing, he said, everything is everything is touched by tongue. Like when you eat, so you touch. So we cannot offer that to others. So everything is uttered by the tongue, except Brahman. What Brahman is cannot be uttered. You cannot tell what you really are. Say, leave it. If I ask, say you tasted a sweet meat, you tell me what is that sweet meat. You cannot say. You say, oh, it is so nice. It was so nice. It was so nice. That much you can say. And that which even speech and mind cannot understand, how can it say? Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasasaha. So where even speech and mind cannot reach, and it stops in between, how can it say that what it is? So it is He alone who has become the universe, living beings, and 24 cosmic principles. When He is actionless, I call Him Brahman. So no action. When He wants to create, then He takes two forms, Paraprakriti and Aparaprakriti. But when He is actionless, I call Him Brahman. When He creates, preserves, and destroys, I call Him Shakti. So Brahman, Shakti, Shakti, Brahman. And I call Him Shakti. Brahman and Shakti are not different from each other. So Shakti is a personal God, and Shakti has got the Aparaprakriti and Paraprakriti. So this is Brahman and Shakti are not different from each other. Water is water, whether it is still or moving. It is not possible to rid oneself of I consciousness. And as long as one is aware of this I consciousness, one cannot speak of the universe and its living beings as unreal. So till we have, see, this body, sense of body, that means it was born. So I have a lineage, and I am also a disciple of someone. But when this idea goes away totally, what happens? What happens when your dreams stops? So that cannot be spoken. So it is not possible to rid oneself of I consciousness, And as long as one is aware of this I consciousness, one cannot speak of the universe as its living beings as unreal. You cannot get the correct weight of the bell fruit if you leave out its shell and pits. The brick, lime, the brick, lime, and brick dust of which the stairs are made are the same brick, lime, and brick dust of which the roof is made. The universe and its living beings exist on account of the reality of Him who is known as Brahman. So that is, then he goes further. The devotees, I mean the Vijnanis, accept both God with form and the formless, both the personal God and the impersonal. In a shoreless ocean, an infinite expanse of water, visible blocks of ice are formed here and there by intense cold. Similarly, under the cooling influence, so to say, of the deep love of its worshipper, the infinite reduces itself to the finite and appears before the worshipper as God with form. Again, as on the rising of the sun, the ice melts away, so on the awakening of knowledge, God with form melts away into the same infinite and formless. Sri Ramakrishna, when he comes down, he is aware of Naren, Latu, Rakhal, and all the devotees, Dakshineshwar. He offers his pranams to Mother Kali. He offers pranam to Mother Ganga. But when he is totally merged in himself, everything is merged. So again, as on the rising of the sun, the ice melts away. So on the awakening of knowledge, God with form melts away into the same infinite and formless. Sri Ramakrishna, who loved Mother Kali so much. So when Totapuri said, nothing doing, you are to meditate on formless God. And he tried his utmost. But again and again, the laughing or smiling face of Mother appeared before him. He said, I cannot meditate. My mother is coming again and again. That old man said, "Kyun nahi hoga? Why not?" And he took a piece of glass and he marked here. Meditate, concentrate on this pain. And when next time he tried, again Mother appeared before him with her smiling, bewitching smile. Then he took the sword of knowledge and cut her asunder. And one imagine, and then he merged in the self. So it is otherworldly how this happened. As long as a man analyzes with the mind, he cannot reach the absolute. See, we are thinking, we are analyzing. It's beyond our reach. It's the intellect. It's good. That next will come. Buddhi jnanam asammudha, asammoha, sama, satyam, dama, shama, etc. will come. But these are lower. Lower means not to be discarded. That's as good as, because it's the same thing. But if we are satisfied here, then we cannot reach there. So as long as a man analyzes with the mind, he cannot reach the absolute. As long as you reason with your mind, you have no way of getting rid of the universe and the objects of the senses: form, taste, smell, touch, and sound. Then what's the effect? If something is good eatable, then I'll go clandestinely and eat it. So there is Kit Kat. So sometimes I eat it. So, so taste, smell, touch, and sound, because we are allured by this. Whenever we open our eyes, then we are deluded. So first we have to find that truth within. When reasoning stops, you attain the knowledge of Brahman. Atman cannot be realized through this mind. Atman is realized through Atman alone. Pure mind, pure buddhi, pure Atman, all these are one and the same. Just think how many things you need to perceive an object. So we need object, we need some connecting rays which are reflected there from there, and then it reaches the retina, then it is converted into the nerve current that reaches to our brain, that is identified, and mind perceives it, and then imagines that, oh, something is there, a red rose is there. So he says, imagine, just think how many things you need to perceive an object. You need eyes, you need light, you need mind, not only eyes, I need specs also. You cannot perceive the object if you leave out any one of these three. As long as the mind functions, how can you say that the universe and I do not exist? So, as of now, we are devotees. We are to see God in all beings. And when the mind is annihilated, when it stops deliberating pro and con, then one goes into samadhi. One attains the knowledge of Brahman. You know the 7 notes of the scale: sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni, no, do, re, ma, and something like that here. One cannot keep one's voice on ni very long. So, this is what Sri Ramakrishna said. Now, so God's glory, ekatvena, prithakatvena. So how one wants to worship. If one wants to worship as many, then he has to see that all are God, manifesting as many. One and many are not different, only the perspective is different. So here we go to the shloka. Bhagavan says, Buddhir jnanam asammoha, Shama satyam dama shama, Sukham dukkham bhavo bhavo, Bhayam cha bhayameva cha, Ahimsa samata tushtis tapodanam yasho yashaha, Bhavanti bhava bhutanam matta eva pratag vidha. Now this list is not enough. There are so many others, but we'll take this one by one. Buddhi, intellect. Something which we can understand. Say a child comes and he says, I have not eaten that one. And you know that he has eaten. How you know? It is by your intellect, subtle understanding. You enter to a chamber of orthopedic surgeon and he looks at you and immediately understand, oh, your femur has some problem. How it happens? By long practice, long cultivating his knowledge, his expertise. An architect looks at a building, oh, beautiful building, but that is not good. So he knows because of his training, and this is because of our intellect. So there also God resides. Buddhi, jnanam. So buddhi, jnanam. Jnana is knowledge. Knowledge, wisdom. So knowledge, like to know something in particular and in depth. So like, let me translate first. Intellect, knowledge, non-delusion, forbearance, truth, restraint of the external senses, calmness of heart, happiness, misery. So misery also is God, because we learn many things when we are in miserable state. Birth, death, fear, as well as fearlessness, non-injury, evenness, contentment, austerity, benevolence, good name, as well as ill fame, different kinds of qualities of beings arise from me alone. So these are the qualities that is coming or appearing from God. So buddhi, we have thought about it. Jnana, that special knowledge. Jnana and vijnana. Asammoha, asammoha, that is not deluded. Moha means confused. Mudha, so from there it comes. So mind is pure, and in that pure mind, one understand what is right, what is wrong. And then comes kshama. Kshama means forgiveness. So if you can forgive someone, that means you are in God. It is divine qualities, not like a revenge. Okay, sometimes that is also God, like Chandi. Chandi, she kills demons. So they are also. But anyway, that's why I said it is not all. Whatever form that we see, it is from Him, from God. Satyam, truth. Damaha. Dama is controlling of one's outer senses. That also is done by mind. Dama. Shamaha. Shama means controlling of one's own senses. We have 5 senses, and 5 senses are like 5 horses, untamed horses. And they want to go in 5 directions. We want to see good features and hear good news all the time. If something goes wrong, then we are also gone. So all these are uncontrolled senses. But when it is controlled, then all will be directed to one goal. Similarly, damaha are 5 organ of action also to be under control. Then sukham, dukkham. Sukham, when you are happy mood. When happiness comes also because of that reality. Suppose you are seeking to have a Tesla car. So you have not enough money, then you took loan from somewhere, and then you borrowed some money from someone, and ultimately you got the enough fund and bought the car. Immediately you were happy. How this happens? Because your mind was not settled. All the time it was turmoil for the fulfillment of that desire. But the moment that desire is fulfilled, immediately, a fraction of a second maybe, all the desires subsided and nothing more. So we feel elation, that joy, sukham. So that is also reflection of God. Sukham, dukkham. When we are in misery, then only we learn many teachings. which we otherwise cannot learn. So through that also, it is God who is manifesting. Bhavo abhavo. Bhava, whatever is existing, birth, and abhava is death. So when something is existing, there must be some source on which it is existing or it is born. There can be nothing without any source. So what is that source that we have to find out? And when something ceases to exist, that means what? It has gone to its cause, its source. Bhavo bhavo. Bhayam. Bhayam means fear. Why we fear? It is called Dvaitat Bhayam Bhavati. When there are two, then that means there is a competitor. Then you are afraid of that. And Abhaya, you are fearless. That means you are established in that. So you are not afraid of anything. So all these are expression or manifestation of God. Ahimsa, non-injury. Non-injury. Or not to harm anyone. If you harm, that means what? That means you are harming yourself. There are no two. When you harm others, you are harming yourself. Therefore, cultivation of ahimsa is cultivation of God. Samata, equanimity. You have no favorite one, or you neither hate nor infatuated. So samata. Rather, samatva buddhi, equanimity. Tushti. Tushti means you are satisfied. Tushta. Or contentment. It is said in Hindi, Jab aave santosh dhan, sab dhan dhuri saman. We have many kinds of resources. Godhan, Gajdhan, Bajidhan, or Ratan Dhan Khan. Previously they had cows, head of cows. How many heads? In Western world also it was like that. But later they converted into gold and then now dollars. Now maybe new currency will come. Anyway, so things are going on like that. Or maybe we'll go back to gold. So what is the point? One is not satisfied with all those resources. Rather, one is contented. So that is a great wealth. Maybe he may not have the latest gadget or latest amenities or the highest amenities, but whatever he has, he's happy with that. A man went to, he was traveling for Char Dham, and then in a forest he saw a monk. Nobody was there, only monk was meditating. So when he approached, monk opened his eyes. He said, "It's strange, you are here and you have nothing, nobody is there to talk to." He said, "What is required for living? Something to be eaten and enough space for breathing. And I have enough here. You can see these trees are producing so much of oxygen. I breathe here, fresh air. And these trees give me fruits, roots, etc. So that's enough for me. What else is required?" So this is, one will say, "Oh, it is not progress." What is progress? If you see, in the name of progress, we have gone back or digresses. Like when we are healthy, so they allure us with, various sweetmeats and junk food. And we go for them, then how to cure indigestion? Then they have some medicine. So you go on eating and then you have diabetes. Then there is no cure of diabetes. So in the name of progress, actually, we should be doubtful about, is this the progress? So some of them. Then ahimsa, samata, tushti, so satisfaction. Tapaha swadhyaya ishwar pranidhana. Tapasya means to exert oneself, to concentrate, so that there is heat within. So austerity, there's one meaning is austerity. What is that? One does not eat, does not, um, live a normal life. That is not austerity. It is concentration. Tapah swadhyaya, ishwar pranidhana. So tapaha is very important. Then dana, donation. Dana means whatever is to be given, that is given shraddhaya deyam, asraddhaya adeyam. And whatever is offered, that is to be offered with shraddha. Then yashaha, ayashaha. That means fame and ill fame. Bhavanti bhava bhutanam matteva pritagvida. All these are from me. These are various. These are many. But all these are from me. Intellect, knowledge, non-delusion, forbearance, truth, restraint of the external senses, restraint of internal senses, calmness of heart, because all are in and through mind. When mind is calm, then all these are also controlled. Then happiness, misery, birth, death, fear, as well as fearlessness, non-injury, evenness, contentment, austerity, benevolence, good name, ill fame, different kinds of qualities of beings arise from me alone. So now we know where God resides. But we are not to be deluded by it, but we are to find the source of it. When it comes, yes, we are to cultivate as of now, because we have sense of I and me and thou and thee. So with this, we are to start, and then we'll see whatever, when we realize, then we'll see whatever is there is here in all beings. But one should not jump to that state. After reaching, then only we can see that same truth everywhere. But otherwise, doubts will remain and allurement of various sense objects will be there. So anyway, we have to stop here. The time also. We see our prayer. So any question?
You talked about having separate heart. God is really one. So that's why you can't intellectualize mind by characteristics.
So ego is difficult to go. So Sri Ramakrishna said, turn it round, go more free. So that's very important. So when you have sense of ego, we have to think I am son of God, I am servant of God. Regarding your question, Sri Ramakrishna is talking with devotees, and then all of a sudden he goes into samadhi. So in the beginning, there is a little ego also, so that he can enjoy as a devotee of God, as a servant of God. But then he says sometimes that also is wiped away. So what remains, remains. And that cannot be spoken. Okay, you can experience this. You are here? Yes? You're listening to me? Yes. Similarly, you go to your home tonight, you go to sleep and you dream. So in your dream, you also enjoy, like I'm dreaming. I'm going to Vedanta Society and talking to people, etc. And that also stops. What remains? Tell me. So me also, who's telling me? When you have sense of me, then only you can talk me. But there you cannot talk. Similar. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tatsat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. So what is Sri Ramakrishna Arpanam Astu? So this is another way of deducting the ego. So whatever we spoke, we thought about, everything goes to Sri Ramakrishna. So, okay.